and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. The pressure well and truly on here. Mark Tong ahead of Kevin Horsley and Yanni Leipen. Looks to me like the response coming though behind. They're not wanting to let Horsley and Tong go too far down the road. They are currently at 7.4k. Category 6, the first category away. They're the furthest down the road. They're at 20.5 kilometers. Category 1 leaders at the moment looks like Trzajanski and Kroll, the two Polish riders on the front of the race field for Category 1, really starting to stretch things out there. Now the counter-attack goes, although it's no surprise to see Michael Vick on the front ripping it up. He has done this repeatedly. Will this be the time that he gets clear with the group that he likes? Osborne's coming across to try and join Knudsen and Vink on the front, and the pressure is well and truly on. It's going to be like standing on the platform as the train comes through, as this express train of Category 1 leaders, and then the chasers come through one after the other. Sad Garrity feeling the pace, feeling the pressure. 45.3k, and on those steady slopes, basically it's dirty great climbing, guys. It's Ricky Kittle leading out at the moment from John, back 3 seconds the gap at the moment. Then it's sensing Hofbeck and co.
So Maciej Mendakowicz putting in a big effort here in Category 2. SS leading the charge behind at 5 seconds. You can see him there in the picture. You can see the huge chasing group. But Ricky Kittle is continuing to extend his lead in that Category 6 race. John Back is chasing. Hofbeck is there as well as sensing. But then Brian White and Mukhtari and Shrillo are leading the charge in Category 5. It's Tugels, Vink and Knudsen. Now, it was Vink, Tugels and Osborne last week who were the 1, 2, 3. Will Vink take the win? Will Tugels take second? Will Knudsen take third? Or will that order be different?
That Back Kittle battle has reversed with Back in front of Kittle. Brian White on the left of your screens is the nearest rider to them. He's leading Category 5, but behind him, Ortiz and Gaviria, Cirillo and Mukhtari are separated by a matter of a few seconds. Kittle is going to come in and across the line. The Category 6 race winner is Ricky Kittle on qualifier race number 4 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام، متابعينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم. الفئة السادسة في تطور كبير، مستوى عالي وأيضا مستوى جيد بالنسبة لجميع الدراجين الذين يتواجدون في هذه الفئة السادسة. تشوف الفئة الثانية فيها تحركات قوية في الفئة الثانية. هذه الفئة الثانية بقيادة مستر إكس 100. برافو، داخلين عليه بتاكات. هذا اس الآن مرة أخرى. اس فريق الإمارات يدخل اليوي كلان تيم أكثر من عملية هجوم. نعم، هو من يقود السبرنت الآن. برافو هو اللي عمل الآن هذا دبل أتاك من مستر إكس 100 يوي كلان تيم. يتقدم الآن المشهد هنا، يتم اللحاق به عن طريق بيتر مولستيك. هذا يون باك دراج دنماركي مع ريكي كيدل الدراج نيوزيلندي يتقدم الآن. إذا الآن ريكي كيدل يتقدم الآن في هذه اللحظات ويعمل عملية اكسلريشن.
ريكي ينطلق إلى خط النهاية. هذا الأسترالي، هذا النيوزيلندي، لكي يحصل على المركز الأول اليوم في فئته بعدما كان ثانيا في الأسبوع الماضي. وبالفعل اليوم الفوز للفئة السادسة لريكي كيدل النيوزيلندي، والقميص الأصفر والمنقط الاحتفال بالفوز. خلفه مباشرة براين وايت، ويدخل أيضا براين بالمركز الأول.
So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, to our men's race finale. If you are just joining us, first of all, let me say Eid Mubarak. I hope you have a plentiful, very fun Eid, and enjoy the time that you have over the next few days. If you're in the UAE, that's a holiday for the next few days. No holiday for me. My name's Matt Payne. I'm bringing you the start of the men's race. I'll be joined by Emma Martin, who's currently covering the women's race. Do remember, if you want to watch some great racing, make sure you watch the women's back after you've watched the men's. Same area, we're in same world, we're in California for both races. The men's race, 45 kilometers, 774 meters of ascent. It is going to be a real tough race route. This is a route that favors the strong riders who can put repeated efforts in. We have 3 key climbs today, and that is the Hollywood climb, the Mount Auburn climb, and the Spring Road climb. The climbs finish, the official segment, the last one finishes just before we get to our finish line. That's at 44.3k, so 700 meters to go to the very finish. The climbs competition and the points competition comes into play as it does with our qualifiers. So points for coming across the line in the top 5 on the climbs, the same in the sprints. The rider with the highest points total will take away the overall sprint or the climb competitions, and there are prizes for through the fastest through the segment in each of our categories as well. Big prizes today, though, not just in the individual competition for finishing the race at the front of the race, but also, of course, in the team competition, which will play out today. That could affect the race tactics about who goes how far down the road, how much time advantage riders get. And, of course, with 3 riders' times to count, every second is critical for the team. So expect to see some close racing behind the leaders as well. With 6 race categories, there's a lot of riders on our start list. We have 265 riders down to start the race start today. The first category away, there are category 6 riders. There are standard race category. We have 5 teams of 5 riders in the mix, with level alone not having enough to qualify for that team competition. The BMC startup team with Gomez, Schober, Kutab, Hooker and Driscoll, along with BMC 6, Sensi, Milano, Atruba, Kittle and Llewellyn. Level beginning have 5 as well. That is Yarvinen, Medeiros, Bach, Ramos and Faro. The Lost Amigos, well, that is Lenador, Kleps, Villada, Toro and Sebza. And the Spinergy team, Dadson, Abbott, Arrego, Demanuan and Yokobonis. We have 3 riders not in teams today. That's Tom Owen, Roman Mazaros, as well as Christian Hofbeck. Hofbeck taking a 4th place, actually, in our qualifiers. So could be one to watch out for if you can surf the right wheels at the right time. The rider from level alone is Marcus Brito. 30 riders down to start in category 6 here today. They have the full course in front of them. They set off at the moment, and the first 5.5 kilometers is almost pancake flat. However, we then go straight in towards that Hollywood climb. The first climb, well, that's a 3.1k climb with 6%. So getting a good start here and being in contention as you come into that climb is going to be critical both for you and your teammates. So time to go racing. It is the monthly final, the last Sunday of every month. It's time to hit the roads of California. Away you go, category 6. And you can see we're in with Frederick Schoberg, the rider highlighted in blue across the center of the screen. And on the bar on the right, we're going to have a little flip through just to get ourselves up to the front of here. We're in with Wojciech Sebza at the moment. Definitely a rider to watch out for as this group accelerates out. It should coalesce into one big bunch with the distance that we've got, but definitely a fast start here from Villada and Yarvinen, just making sure that they're in that bunch, not wanting to get left behind. Now let's run you through the key teams here today. And to some degree, it could be a rerun of last month's finals, because we have the level beginning squad, the riders who took the top spot in the team competition last month here. We've got Yarvinen, Medeiros, Ramos and Farah, but their star rider John Back, 2 second places and a 4th place so far this month in the qualifiers. So 3 top 5 positions out of the 4 races, absolutely flying. Level beginning very, very strong. The team who was second last time out in our finals, and that was in the February finals, BMC 6. And they've got a lot more riders who've been in the mix overall. So it is well worth bearing in mind that this is a team competition today as well as an individual competition. Brett Sensing's had 2 3rd places. David Milano's had 2 5th places. a win and a second place and a climbs competition win for Richard Kittle means that they've got 3 strong riders backed up by 2 very strong riders, Simon Llewellyn and Petter Truba as well. Don't discount Spinergy. Julio Orrego could be the rider in there, third this month. D'Emanuel's had a 5th place, a 5th for Cameron Danson, and a sprint win. Definitely ones to watch in that team competition. We will see, though, if Diego Orrego of the BMC startup squad can get there. Frederick Schober has been looking good. Driscoll's been in the mix, so has Hooker. It's going to be a tough one, though, for them when you are faced with the strong team squads where they can play those cars and such strong riders. Certainly this month, we've seen some very, very tough racing from Category 6. If you are new to the Sunday Race Club, and I know that we do have new viewers week in, week out, then thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, you can keep up with all of things MyWhoosh, not just on MyWhoosh.com, also on MyWhoosh Info for lots of stats as well as results. A great way to find out who's racing what and how hard. Don't forget, of course, that you can jump on Facebook as well as Instagram. It is at MyWhoosh on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to keep up with all the social media, please do remember to subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. More than that, we'd like you to download the app. Jump on board, it's free. Don't charge you a subscription for the app. It's very simple. Download it, iOS, Android, Windows. Get on board. Jump on board your bike. You don't need to have a smart trainer. You can, with the latest updates, ride it with a set of sensors on your old 1950s fixed wheel bike on a set of rollers and go and ride on the platform. If you want to race, you've got to have some pretty good kit. That's simply to make sure that the racing is fair. And of course, in the Sunday Race Club, all of our riders are verified from Category 6 right the way through to Category 1, including Category 5, our next riders to set off from those start pens. Now, we've got 10 teams on the start list here in Category 5. It's a really strong race field, 50 riders on the race field. Watch out for the ZTBR squad. They're one of the squads with 3 riders, along with the BMC Hi-Fi squad. They've got 3 as well. With 4 riders, BMC Get Racing, BMC Rule 5, BMC 5, as well as the MPCC team. But we do have 4 squads of 5 riders. So the squads with 5, Level Avengers have 5, Level Ride Club Finland have 5 riders in their team. The Level Up team have 5 riders, and the Upcycled squad have 5 riders as well. The What Revenge team, well, they only have 1 rider racing, and that is Castiglione. He's not going to be eligible for the team prize. There is a real mix of riders as well. We've got about 8 riders who are not in teams today, able to surf those wheels and not have to play the team game in the run into the finish. Now, go through the details of those riders and maybe pick out a few of the riders to watch very shortly. But it is time for Category 5, our second race category, to go out from the pens. It's time to go racing on the Sunday Race Club as they head out. Big kickoff from the start here, and looks like a Russian Terran already up near the front here, pushing out a rider who's progressed through from Category 6 into Category 5, really finding his feet on the Sunday Race Club. One of our younger riders as well. Really good to see that he's up and in the mix. So, as these riders head out from the start, Terran part of that Level Avengers squad with Carcajal, Zimiel, Gaviria, and Villada. Could well be a team to watch today. Watch out for the squad, including Mokhtari, though, because definitely the Upcycle squad. Mark Ton taking a 4th place, but you've got Florian Drummond, Ian Lloyd, both very, very experienced riders, along with Mohamed Mokhtari and Xavier Mayer. The Upcycle squad, if there was a prize for having the most experience, it could well be theirs today in that Category 5 race. Teams to watch out for the win. Level Up have definitely got to be in there. Brian White, a 1st to 3rd place. And the climbers competition, Callangad taking a 4th, backed up by the living legend that is Jeff Rooney, with Justin Roy and Rudolph Bertrand. They could be up there in the mix, could well be our winners in Category 5. They were second in the finals last time out. The Level Avengers, well, they took the win last time, but not such good results this time. And it may well be that the BMC Get Racing squad, with Arthur Sikora, a first, a third, and 2 climb wins, backed up with Kevin Horsley and Kevin Mockmans, both who've taken 5th places. They've also got Dadson in the squad, so it's a squad of 4, but they could well be the team to beat the riders who are maybe more established. Raikkonen Finland, well, Rusty Mackie has taken a first, Sill's taken a 5th. They're backed up by Leipinen, Warren, and Corver. Again, another strong squad, really tight between these riders and between their race results. And the MPCC team, 3 of their 4 riders have had top 5 positions. So a win for Mortek, a 2nd place for Anderson, a 3rd place for Laszlo. Laszlo also regularly taking those sprints and animating the racing. And it could well be that they're going to really mix it up and shake things up. A very interesting race field out on the course today in Category 5. At the moment, they are currently at 1.6k into the race in that light blue. The riders in front of them on the road at 4.9 kilometres. They are the Category 6 riders. There are 5 minutes between Category 6 and 5 race starts, 5 minutes between the Category 5 and Category 4 race starts, a 5-minute gap between Category 4 and 3. We then get a 10-minute gap between Category 3 and 2, and then 5 minutes between Categories 2 and 1 as we move up to our top elite riders. So Category 6 and 5 on the road. Category 4, well, they are going to be our next group of riders away. 10 teams in the mix for the prizes today. 5 teams of 5. 4 teams of 4, 1 team of 3. So the teams with 5 riders, BMC Racing. We've also got Level Racing 1, Level Racing 2, the On the Rivet Racing team, the Ride Club Finland 4 team. They are teams with 5 riders. The teams with 4 riders, Inner Fight, the Mighty Duck squad, Peak Power Racing, and the Salt Factory team from the UAE. And our team with 3 riders is the Anzacs. They are absolutely packed full of talent as well. Teams to watch out for. Do not discount the BMC Racing squad. A 4th and a 5th for Giuliano, but backed up by Cadiz, Quadrelli, Robinson, and Pino. Definitely very, very strong. I would say Level Racing 1 may well be a team that, if they're not in with this win, I'll be very surprised. They have the King of California, Luke Allport, in here. A 1st and a 5th so far this month. He's back on form. He's in his favourite ground. Rumours that he's going to emigrate to California are not yet proven true or false. We will let you know whether it is fake news or not. But Luke Allport, the man for whom the verb allporting was invented, he is a rider on that squad, the 1st and 5th for him. Torsten Huss got 4th place. Zach Patterson has had 3 top 5s, a 2nd, a 4th, and a 5th place, along with Linda Bender and Morgan. They definitely are going to be pushing the rest. Remember, 10 teams, 7 prizes for the top 7 teams in each of our race categories. Prizes for our top 10 riders individually overall in each category, as well as fastest through the segment in the sprints and the climbs, and the sprint and climb overall. Big prizes at stake across all race categories. Category 4 are away. The riders in those red jerseys. Half of our race fields now having left the pen. The other half of the race field awaits. That's categories 3, 2, and 1, who will be following in a few minutes' time. This big pack very quickly up to speed. Now, if you've only just joined back into us and you've previously watched in one of the previous editions of MyWhoosh, you maybe not seen the new user interface. That is what you're seeing on your screens. Top and center is still the riders' numbers and stats, so you can see heart rate, the power, the amount of what's being generated in green if the riders are in the draft, black if they are not. Black is bad, green is good. You see the pedal revs up there, the speed that's travelled, and the distance covered, as well as the time, which is just coming up to 1 minute of racing. Top right-hand side, you now get the map and the course profile combined. The course profile is the red line. It's a pretty much flat start for the first 5.5 kilometres, so you can see that's a pretty much flat line. The rider's position marked with the yellow vertical bar with the yellow arrow on top, and the screen moves from the right to the left in terms of the course profile. The percentage of the gradient here, pancake flat, 0%, but obviously that changes as the riders ascend or descend. The zone that the rider that we're watching is highlighted. You can just see that just intensifying, just getting that little bit bigger than the rest at the moment. Zone 3 for James Robinson, who's highlighted in blue, indicating he's the rider that we're watching. Below then you can see his position out of all of the riders. Now this includes the riders in the start pens. It doesn't include anybody who's joining later, because remember, of course, riders go and join up towards that start time. So of the 265 riders on the start sheets, 203 riders either away, out on course, or waiting in the pens. More riders still to join before their race starts. And below that, you can see the rider James Robinson, the rider highlighted in the blue. You can see the riders that are around him. So the time gap, the power, the distance that they've covered on the course around, as well as that position out of the entire bunch. At the moment, Category 4, well, it's not been the steadiest of starts. We've got one rider just clear at the front, one rider being distanced at the back, but the main field all together. Spratt, the rider who is already pushing, wanted to make it hard from the start here. Nicholas Spratt, definitely a rider to keep an eye on. He's riding for the Anzacs. He's taken a 4th place already this month in our qualifiers. And the Anzacs with Johannes, Giraldo and Spratt, a very strong threesome of riders. And that is for sure. Being chased here by the one and only Luke Allport. Looking to Allport his way up to Spratt. But interesting that you've got 3 countrymen, Spratt, Allport and Morgan. The 3 riders at the moment just trying to stretch their legs and break clear. Allport makes his way onto the wheels of Nicholas Spratt. He makes his way up into position. So the leaders in Category 4 currently at 2.5 kilometres into this race route. Their first key point, the first key marker is that Hollywood climb that comes at 5.5k into this race route. So they have a little way to go until they get there. Category 5 in front, then 6, the first riders away. They are the riders furthest along our race route today. Our next riders to join them out on the race route will be Category 3. Another big race field, 53 riders on our start sheets today. We have 11 teams in the Category 3 racing. 4 teams of 5, 6 teams of 4, and a team of 3 making up those teams. The teams with 5 riders, the Oteroa Alliance, BMC 3, along with the Gold Grabbers, Level Golden. They're your teams of 5. Your teams with 4 riders, the Anzac Squad, Gold Chain, along with Take That, Take This, and What's Up, and What's Next. So for those who like names that are similar, well, you've got quite a few to choose from there. Don't forget, though, we do have a team with 3 riders. That is Ride Club Finland 3, Jana Pekka, Johan Moreno, and Jona Tuika. They've got to make sure every one of their team members finish for Ride Club Finland 3 if they want to take away a team prize. And of course, they've got to finish in the top 7 teams, because it is the top 7 teams that receive prizes here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club in our finals at the end of each and every month. It's time to go racing in Category 3. Those dark blue jerseys leave the pens. They go underneath the archway of the start, decorated to celebrate Eid at the end of Ramadan. It's our last race on this time before we should, as if it all goes to plan, go back to racing at our standard times next week. Still just waiting that confirmation, but as far as I know, that is all the timings we'll be going back to next week. So if you're expecting us in the evening, it will be in the morning. For in the morning, we'll probably be in the very late night the night before. So plan on us being that little bit earlier next week for the first of our qualifiers. A perfect time to jump on board and ride on MyWhoosh. Come and join us for the first qualifier in April and get those 2 qualifying rides in that you need to get into the final. Now, in Category 3, teams to watch out for. The GOAT squad of the teams who should be strong. The GOAT's definitely right up there. The winners from last month. Bert Kane, Jonas Bjarhend, Maciej Mendakowicz and Peter Milostic, along with Karen Kane. Milostic with a 5th. again, taking 3 fourth places. They've had top fives in there. They're on form. They could well be the riders to take that team win. They've got to watch out for the Hitmen, though. They have 3 riders with top 5 positions. Phil Graves has had a 4th. Ross Fawcett has taken a 5th. And Zach Nair's taken 2 5th places. They are backed up by James Krasnich, along with Tatu Koistonen. So a very strong squad for the Hitmen this time round. We do need to watch out, though, for the UAE clan team. 3 riders. They've had 3 podiums. Mr. X100 with the 2nd, SS with the 2nd, and a 3rd place. So, category 3, 2, and Co. all heading out from our start list. They're going to be making their way out onto, because we're going to see who is going to be right up there as we make our way in towards the finish. But here we go. Let's take a check of Category 6. They're well underway. Category 6 on the climb, coming up towards our first summit at the moment. So here we go. You can see 17 minutes of racing done. They're coming up towards the top. They circle the top and descend down. This is the first of our climb segments. This is the first time we get to see just who is racing the strongest, who is riding strongly, as we see categories 2 and 1 waiting to go. The top of the climb, category 6, that's where they are at the moment. Let's keep a check as who will be there, who is going to be taking this out. We're just looking to see the Hollywood climb. It's coming. It's just around the border. The archway is a polka dot archway. I think category 6 are going to hit the top of the climb any second. Category 3, we're with Arvin Godazi at the moment. They could well be up in the mix here today. So, category 3, well and truly underway. The Anzac squad, Bloom, Velez, Goodall. Could they be the ones who are going to take that? Mick Godarzi, a rider that we know will be strong on these climbs, but has he got enough to answer the likes of Walter Glaze? He's had a first place, so is David Kowalski. Both of that What's Up next team. Definitely a squad to watch out for. What's up? Godarzi, Sure, Becca, Arego. And they're down on the bottom of the courses on the right-hand side of your screen. You can see Michael Klepps, the rider who has taken the fastest time up to the top of the climb. At the moment, only 11 riders so far through. That is the first 3 groups on the road through the archway and onto the loop. You can see that top right-hand side there, and that is 11 riders. So Klepps, Kittle, Llewellyn, Bach, Arego, Milano, Demanuan, Hooker, Sensig, as well as Dadson and Turo, the leading groups to go over the top. Klepps with a 4-second gap back to John Bach, and then it's Arego, then Llewellyn, Milano, and Co. Category 5, left-hand side of your screen. They are climbing on that self-same hill. They're making their way around those Hollywood Hills turns. This climb's steeper at the start. It eases midway through, and then it kicks to its steepest, which is 12% up near the summit of the climb. Category 5, catching the riders very short in Category 6, and it's not long before they're going to see the leaders coming down the descent in the opposite direction as well. So as Mohammed Mkhtari holds the wheels of Brian White here, this leading group in Category 5, stringing out on this climb. You've got to be in it to win it. This is a case of being in the front at the top of each and every climb. You've got to treat this as your finish line each and every time as you go over the top of each of these climbs. The leaders in Category 6 descend down the opposite direction. They've just going shooting past in the opposite direction as we see Urosumaki really stretching this out. Villada into the red, trying to respond. Mkhtari, Gavira also trying to respond. It's a big group. They're not going to, I think, be able to go solo here, but you could bring this down to a much more manageable size group on the way through. So they're coming up. You can see that we've got a left, a right, a left, and a right to come. And then they're going to be up at the summit and making the way around the top of those turns. Frederick Schoberg, the nearest rider from Category 6 in front, 15 seconds in front of Rusmaki. Rusmaki with the gap here, continuing to push at 4.5 watts per kilo. Now up to 5 watts per kilo. It's a strong climb by Rusmaki here. Goes over that steeper section, 14.5, 14.9% as they come up this section here, consistently sitting above 12. It then eases again. He's going to kick once again, but making sure that you push your way through here can gain you a lot of time. He's still holding 4 seconds, now 5 on the chasing group. White, Mortek and Mokhtari trying to close down. Rusmaki really putting in a big effort here in the Category 5 race. Is this going to be enough to smash the group apart? They need to get some gaps in there. The gaps will be amplified by going on to the flat section if they keep pushing, and then into the descent when they pick the speed up. There is a little bit of a chance to come back, but you've got to get on the wheels quick. Rusmaki surely is going to take away maximum points in the climbing competition. He's about to go underneath the polka dot arch here that signifies the end of the climb. Underneath he goes. Surely that's going to be the fastest time of the day on the climb. He's got a gap back to Horsley, to Kennett, to Cirillo and co. That was a strong, strong ride as he went over the top. Now, Horsley, the rider we're in with, Kennett makes his way onto his wheels. Cirillo, Villada, Gaviria, Mortek, all in this chasing group at the moment. We have had 11 riders once again go through. We saw 11 riders go through in the leading group in Category 6. We've got 11 riders going through the front of the race in Category 5. We'll get to know how many's in the front of Categories 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hopefully as much as we can. With 6 race categories, it can be confusing, believe me. We've been covering this a long time. Then we've grown from 3 to 4 to now 6 race categories. There's definitely a lot more homework behind the scenes, but hopefully we're going to get this right. Now, did run through the teams in Category 2 for you a bit ahead of time earlier on. 6 teams in with 5 riders. But size is not everything in this competition. The GOAT squad, well, they could well be up there. They were the winners last month, clear of the Hitmen. Behind, though, do not discount the UAE clan team. If all 3 riders ride, that's Mr. X100, Pablo Popovic, and SS. Watch out for the UAE Falcons as well. Although they don't have enough riders to qualify for that team competition, they could be up there really shaking up the racing as well. The Fast Guy squad, Gombe, has been riding strongly, surely due a big reward. Watch out for the Gloria Victis squad. It's not just a Latin phrase. It is also a movie and a game and a book as well. But maybe a little bit more on that a little bit later. They've got Ivan Nuki in here who will definitely be looking forward to this course. Definitely one to watch. I wouldn't discount Bangston here on this course, nor Betty. Simon Walters has been riding strongly as well. The team competition is going to be immense. Our Category 2 riders, we're in with Ivan Nuki at the moment, the Ugandan rider who coaches for the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club. Well, will he be the vanquisher or the vanquished? Gloria Victis actually means glory to the vanquished. So we will see, will he be victor or vanquished? It's time for our riders to get the revs up, to get that power down. 20 seconds to go. This is the moment the nerves start jangling. This is when you know that you're going to go out. You're not just racing for yourself, you're racing for your team on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Category 2, our penultimate race category for a long time. One of our most competitive race categories across all of the Sunday race clubs. Hit the race route. We're off and racing on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club finals for March with Category 2. This start absolutely critical. You've got to be in this group, and it's a very quick kick off from the blocks underneath the gantry and heading out at the moment. So Graves gone there in here, Newquay. We're seeing Clemotis in as well. Good Santiago Clemotis in once again. Peter Milostic, definitely a rider who could be figuring today right strongly on courses like this with plenty of climbing and an aggressive course, which this is, with its 4 categorized climbs, 5 climbs in total, and the sections in between are not easy as well. This start pretty much the very few sections are flat on the course. Currently just heading out towards the shoreline of California, towards the beach. And this is before we start to make our way in towards the Hollywood climb. In with Che Howeiler at the moment, one of our regularly strong riders on the Sunday Race Club. Definitely a rider who we know will give absolutely everything. He's right beside Kel Power, just nicely tucked into this leading group at the moment. All of Category 2 away. At the moment, averaging round about the 2.8 to 3.1 watts per kilo, depending on where the riders are in the pack. That draft really, really does help. 51 riders in Category 2 taking to that start line. So Che Howeiler in the middle of this pack as they head down past the beach. You can see a very bright and vibrant world here in California. One of 12 worlds you can go riding in on MyWhoosh. Do make sure you jump on board. If you're not thinking you may be fit enough to jump in and maybe jump straight into the deep end with the Sunday Race Club, but maybe want to think about one of our other races, don't forget we've got lots of other races. There's lots of races for people for sub 3 watts per kilo, for over 3 watts per kilo. There's the Get Racing series, there's the Time Trial series, we've got crit races, elimination races, loads and loads of races. You can find all the details on the mywhoosh.com webpage. Just go on to events and click on there. If you do want to join the Sunday Race Club, make sure you download the event manual. Have a look and check through the rule set. It is quite stringent, make no bones about that. The verification applies to all riders in all categories. So you know you're racing fair, you know that you're racing against real people, and you know that you're racing against people who've gone through those same verifications and checks as you have, from the weigh-in to the height videos, right the way through to the analysis of the data provided by the dual power recording. You know that when Olivier Simmons is on the attack, he's really giving it big beans at 5 watts per kilo, being chased at the moment by Ika Morel. Morel, one of our coaches on the MyWhoosh platform, one of our live coaches. Don't forget you could jump on with Ika. He's there live. If you jump on board, you're out. You're going to jump on the bike. You can check out the training session that Ika will be up and doing. Olivier Simmons, he needs no training to go hard. This man are very, very quick. Ollie or Bigley, depending on whether you've got Emma's or my nickname for him. Personally, I like the Ollie one rather than the Bigley one, but he does give it Bigley Watts on his way out. And at the moment, out of the saddle, just stamping down on those pedals. 67 revs per minute. You can see that on the top center of the main screen. There's Olivier at the moment out of the saddle, tapping those pedals around, just keeping the pressure on. And at the moment, he's got a 6-second gap. Be interested to see if he can shake them loose and maybe change the racing a little bit here today by going on that solo attack all the way into that Hollywood Hills climb. Not so sure we're going to see a solo attack at this stage, at that early stage, from the riders in Category 1. There are our premier riders, the elite riders at the top of the tree. We have got 7 teams here today. We've got 2 teams of 5, so Aber Synergy with Jesper Paradis, Leonard Chugels, Linda Milostic, Marshall Wu, and Stefan Van Elst. They're up against the other team of 5, the Wenger boys. That's Hanne Jacobs, Harvard Gednes, along with Niall Pedersen, Ricardo Panizza, and Vidal Mayer. Our teams with 4 riders in the squad, well, the Alpha Joe squad, Daniel Chirek, Lionel Jasin, along with Mikko Kaminski and Ollie Jones. The Boss Moves Only squad have 4 riders, the world champion Jason Osborne, Michael Knudsen, Michael Vink, and Said Safrazadi. Watch out for the Farm Watch squad, Bjorn Andreasen, former world champion, along with Hayden Pucker, Johan Noren, and Mikkel Plantero. The Polish fighters have 4 riders as well, Nico Kroll, Chodjanowski, and Skierski. And the Union of Speed, Bird, Lewis and Dont. Dont, the man with the most sprint wins on MyWhoosh. In a Sunday race club, he holds the total title for the most sprint wins. Will he be going for the sprints today, or will he be looking for the overall prize? His union of speed squad, Bruce Bird, Joel Lewis and Ruben Dont, an interesting mix. Lewis has been riding strongly. Bruce Bird is always known for his attacking and aggressive racing. And you've got a fantastic sprinter in Ruben Dont, a great all-round rider as well. Going to be very interesting to see if they can mix it up, take it to the top squads. Boss Move only squad have been the number one for some time, along with the Alpha Joel squad, the Boss Moves only squad. Michael Vink, absolutely phenomenal rider. And I'm going to put the plug in now before Emma gets here. If you listen to one podcast this week, I'm going to tell you which one you need to listen to. If you listen to one podcast, please listen to the Virtual Velo podcast with Emma, my co-host, along with Chris Schwenker, talking with Michael Vink. It is a really insightful, honest, and open conversation about Michael, his journey, the trials that have tested him on his racing, his riding, his journey through esports. Absolutely absorbing and very informative view of esports from a man who's been here pretty much since the inception, since we were the Friday training session, the Friday race club into the Sunday race club. Michael Vink has been here, seen there, done it, got the t-shirt, got the wins. He's a man who can do it all, but he's an incredibly nice guy. Very, very, very open about his views on things. So please have a listen. You can pick up the Virtual Velo podcast with Emma Martin, my co-host, on there, chatting with Michael Vink. You can pick that up on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. If you listen to one podcast this week, that's the one for this week. There's your homework. Right, let's get back to the racing at the moment. Trojanowski and Plantro just stretching their legs out at the front of the Category 1 race field. Tim Cutler currently sitting in second position. Ruben Dont, man, just not all that long ago been talking about, currently holding third position with Kaminsky not far off the mix. Now, Marcin Trojanowski, definitely a rider to watch on today's course. This is a course that suits him. We've got 5 climbs. We've got a tough race. You've got climbing in between the climbs. You've got sprints. You've got some sharp kickers as well. It suits an aggressive rider. It suits a rider who's prepared to put themselves on the line. Marcin Trojanowski, definitely one of those. You can see him at the moment. The fan blowing the hair, the daylight shining in through the windows by the look of it at the moment. But certainly looking very focused on the group. Skierski, interestingly, Paul Skierski, currently the first of our riders to be distanced from Category 1. They are currently at 2 kilometres into our race route, heading along that flatter section. Category 2 at the moment, well, 5.6k in, just hitting the first of our climbs. That's the Hollywood climb with Simmons still clear at the front. Further up the road, in fact, the furthest riders along the road at 19 kilometres. Big sprint coming there from Matthew Hooker ahead of Michael Kleps as they go in and through. I think that's going to be the San Francisco sprint that they've just gone through. Just doing a double check on distances here as they go in and through at the moment, looking very, very strong going in through these sections. Interestingly, the Hollywood climb, the very first climb, some real climbers showing the legs of the front. Category 3 segment winner, Niall Batty, in Category 3. In Category 4 on the Hollywood Hills, Ryan Giuliano taking the fastest through that segment. In Category 5, we saw Rusty Mackey go up over that climb. First Category 6, we saw that it was a strong ride going over the top in the Category 6 group, and that came from Kleps going up over the top. Interesting to see that how these riders deal with the rest of the race route. Category 1, our last riders away. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what Hayden Pucker does. This is a course that often suits Pucker. Really strong rider, but we'll see whether he's back to his best. Maybe not been as strong as Johan Noren. Good, lots of plenty of climbing. Noren good when he goes uphill. Mikhail Kaminsky, definitely a rider who we know that will give it everything. Will it suit him? It could well do with the rest and recovery. Good to see Michael Mercado in here. And I know a number of his fellow Portuguese riders making the trip. The World Elite riders coming across and joining the Sunday Race Club. So category 1 at the moment, 3.9k. 5.5k the distance before you hit the climb. Our category 2 riders right hand side of your screen are on the climb. They're ascending as the riders who've already got to the top of the climb circumnavigated the summit and are now descending come past them. But this is a big group in with Khan Kayan on the right hand side of your screen. Ritter, Nair, Bengston, Bjorkland all in the mix. They're the riders in the green skins, green jerseys, sorry. So categories 1 and 2 on the left of your screen, the last 2 riders to leave the pens. The first 2 sets of riders to leave the pens, categories 5 and 6, the riders in light blue and in purple. The riders furthest down the road, there are category 6 riders, that leading group containing our climb leader and our sprint leader at the moment in category 6. Category 5, well, they're just sprinting the way in and through at the moment, just going through the wire. Just keeping a little bit of a check as these leaders go in through, and it's very interesting that these riders really pushing on at the moment. So back in with category 1 at the moment. Certainly looking like this group just starting to approach the first of our rises here. You can see hit 5k and the pace starts to pick up here. And one rider just already starting to stretch clear of this group, really starting to put the pressure on. All the riders need to respond. We're in with Marshall Wu at the moment, a rider who's had a fantastic month on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. We're just going up over the top of that little rise. It flattens off, but the main part of that course World Cup, it's 5.5k when we hit the steepest section. Right turn done. Here we go. The climb is going to start very shortly indeed. That gap is there. One rider clear. The rest of that bunch all back together again, coming in towards the banner. You take the left-hand turn. The banner comes in front of the riders. Big kick actually from our lead rider at the moment. That is an early breakaway. They've got some sliding room on to the climb at the moment. The world champion Jason Osborne waits in this pack. He knows that the moves are going to start to go. And in fact, it's Trojanowski who's gone clear on the front. He's attacked early here. So Martin Trojanowski is the rider with the gap. Osborne is behind him. Now, has Trojanowski done the right thing here, going clear on the front? He's got himself some room for when the big guns come up, and they're being led by the world champion here. Osborne comes through, and look at the pace of the pack as they come onto the wheel of Trojanowski, as they mob around him coming up here. He's got to dive, and he's really got to answer this. He does not want to get distance at this stage, but this group, I think, is going to split on the climb. There are going to be riders in danger here. The way that big sweep came, the way that the front of the pack moved up, I think the pace being set by Jason Osborne, a man who has got such strong teammates in Michael Knudsen, Michael Vink, and in Said Safrazadi. All those riders, all being top 5 riders. Osborne ripping it up on the front into this right-hand turn. Marshall Wu answering this move, sitting tight on the wheels. Lionel Vajasin, such an experienced rider on MyWhoosh, an experienced e-sport rider right in the mix. Ollie Jones is here as well, the man potentially who can claim responsibility for introducing Michael Vink, the Vinkinator himself, to MyWhoosh. He's right in the mix, sat right on the wheels here. He was riding MyWhoosh before Vink, and that takes some doing. Osborne, though, on the front, setting the pace, the world champion, tapping out the rhythm here. For Jason Jones, Don right in the mix. I tell you something, he really has made a great move up into Category 1. He was for a long time sitting in Category 2, really strong there. And when riders move up to this elite category, it's such a big jump. The performance level is so high in Category 1, true of the women's and the men's racing. Category 1 is so strong. World champion riders, elite level riders here, racing in Category 1. It's a very hard place to be, moving from Category 2 into Category 1 when you're racing against the likes of world champions and former world champions. You have the rainbow jersey in that pack, and Don doing a great job. Really is showing himself to be a true contender, I think, when it comes to 2025, because he's only, I think, going to get quicker and quicker. Another rider who's really shown strong is Jasper Paradines, right up in the mix as we go up this climb. The pace set, Marcin Trojanski, that initial kick from him going into the climb, coming to nothing. Jason Osborne leading the charge behind as they swept through. Osborne still on the front, but this group is fracturing. There is rider after rider disappearing off the back. The main group, though, continues to push around the shoulders of Jason Osborne at the moment. So here we go, up onto the climb. They've got to make it to the very summit, to that circumnavigation of the summit. Will we see Osborne leading from the moment that they overtook Trojanski to the top? It looks like he's going to be in the right kind of position, but can he break them? Say Safrazedi and Michael Knudsen, his teammates are right in the mix here. And Osborne still continues. The moment anybody eases off the pace, Leonard Chugles was right up there. He's just eased off a fraction. Osborne straight on the front again. This is a really strong rhythm. It is a big, big climb, this ascending what is 188 meters from its start to finish underneath those polka dot banners. It's the first chance to claim points in that points competition, but also it's going to be decisive in terms of our teams. The leading group now breaking clear. So Category 6, when they came up here, we had 11 riders together. In Category 5, we had 11 riders together. Category 4, well, we didn't get to see them go over the top of the climb. It was a big bunch initially. It has broken up. Category 3 is a bigger bunch than those two. They're still pushing through. Category 2, as expected, big bunch going up over the top. They're actually going to start coming down the opposite direction pretty quickly in a second as well. We're going to see them. Here we go. Down the opposite direction. Still about 22, 23 riders in that group. Category 1, is it going to be 11 riders? Well, my prediction is no. But we will see as they head up to the summit. Osborne leading as they come up these upper slopes. Now, they're not that far from the summit, the top of this climb. Well, that kicks in at 8.6K into this race route, so another 600 meters. But what a 600 meters. Well, we saw Michael Vink earlier looking very smooth, cool, calm and collected as he made his way up the climb. He's not with Osborne and he's not with Jones at the moment as they push their way up here. Ollie Jones now setting the tempo as they kick up this climb here. He's looking good. Now, the problem for Jones is what he won't want to do is distance his teammates, Churek, Vajasin, and Kaminsky. He must know he's got Kaminsky and Vajasin around him. Not sure about Churek at the moment as they come around the turn here. It is certainly looking like there's at least 3 of the Alpha Jaw squad in there. We've seen Osborne, we've seen Knudsen in this leading group as well. We haven't seen Vink and we haven't seen Safrazedi for a little while on our screens, but I suspect they're just about holding this group, but it is much smaller. There are a number of big names who have been dropped, and this is where we're going to find out which of our teams are going to be in the mix and which are not, because this climb is going to be critical. Ollie Jones really doing a phenomenal job up there. You can see he goes over the top of the climb. Now, the leading group of riders, 8 riders together, as they've gone over the top of that section. And it looks to me like it's Kaminsky, Van Els, Vajasin, Wu, Osborne, Chugles, Jones, Pucker, Paradines, Safrazedi, and Noren a little further back. Knudsen, Panizza, then it's Dont coming through. And you'll notice there is a big name missing from that list of characters in the shape of Fink. Fink goes over in 20th position. So not right in the mix right now. So on the climb, on the Hollywood climb, the riders who take the fastest through the segment from category 6 to category 1 on your screens. The fastest time coming from the category 1 riders. Jason Osborne goes up there in a 6:06 to take the record initially. What time does Michael Kaminsky do? He's just done a 6:06 as well. It will go down to the fractions of the second to see who takes that. But talk about consistent. 6 minutes, 6 seconds for the leaders in category 1 on the fastest time they've been up there. And this time round, it's promising to be a fast final here. Category 2, Zach Nair taking away the win. And you can catch all those results on MyWhoosh.com if you go to results, all those results live and updated. So just coming back in from the women's race into the studio comes Emma Martin. Emma's been calling the finish of the women's final for March on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. I always ask you, how much of a cracker was it? Was it brilliant? And you always sort of go, yes. I'm not going to ask that question this time round. Were you shocked by any of the results in the women's race?
Well, I'll tell you something. Yes.
Yes, there was some serious thinking going on there.
Well, the team competition in the women's category 1 race is worth watching the whole thing just for.
Okay, we will have to jump on board. Don't forget, when we finish the men's race, go back, watch the women's race, give it a watch, give it a follow, tell your friends about it, even better, recommend a friend and get them to subscribe as well. And
but did
have
I
a
just
watch
come
too.
into the studio and hear you say Michael Vink went over the first climb in 20th place?
Yes,
I feel like
you're
I've
not
jinxed
California
him with
dreaming.
the Virtual Velo podcast.
Maybe you have. We did. I did give a slight plug. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking, oh my gosh, talking to me obviously wrecked his chances.
I don't think that's the case.
No.
I suspect it's nothing to do with that. That is for sure. Michael Kleps, one man who has not been jinxed by anything at the moment. He's got the first polka dots jersey. He's just reinforced his position in the climbs competition, taking the fastest time up at the Mount Umunham climb. So Kleps now with 2 segment wins in category 6 on the climb. He's leading the competition as well. However, just as importantly, he's pulled clear a group of about 6 riders who've got about 15 seconds to the group behind. So that really, really shows category 6 using the Mount Umunham climb and the climbs on this course to break the group up. Small groups forming very, very early on. Now, let's go from category 6 to categories 2 and 1. Category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen. Category 1, we're not in with our leaders. We're in with Hayden Puckett and Saeed Safrazadi on the descent on the way on the left-hand side on that descent, just taking those sweeping bends in and around. And interesting duo. Saeed Safrazadi, a rider who we would really expect to be in the fight at the front of the group. On the right-hand side of your screen, it's a bigger group in Group 2. Yeah. Group 2, massive bunch still all together. And at 15k, Emma, they're on that sort of climb that's not even categorised.
Well, I'm looking at the moment and I'm seeing Saeed Safrazadi and I'm seeing Michael Knudsen about 2 seconds back with Johan Noren. This group are going to come together. Now, this is going to be really interesting because Safrazadi and Knudsen are on the same squad as Vink and Osborne, and Boss Moves Only, that team, took the win last month. Alpha Jaw in second. And I don't know what you were talking about at the front of the show, Matt, but Abus Synergy, for me, have got to be the third squad in the mix. And at the moment, Tugels, Wu and Van Elst, are they not at the front of the race?
Yep, Paradise was not far off the mix. And Boss Moves Only, well, they've only got one person bossing it, and that's Osborne. He's in this leading group, but this is the leading group. Tugels, Kaminsky, Van Elst is right up there. The Iceman is in the mix. You know, Abus Energy, for me, they are going to be really, really hard to beat. Now, we're just going to take a jump across from Category 1 to Category 2. Today has been a day of MyWhoosh coaches. I think we've featured almost all of the MyWhoosh coaches on the shows, on the women's and the men's shows, one way or another. We're in with another, the headman himself. It is Zach Nair out of the saddle here. Zach with a very interesting setup there, utilising the draw of the chest of drawers pulled out as a shelf.
Well, you know, you've got to use everything available to you
Perfect
when
height,
you are
obviously.
racing. Can I just say, how big is this Category 2 pack? Now, I know when I was
Massive.
doing a little bit of research, I'm never known to be doing a little bit of research, but I was quite amazed. Category 2, for me, a really, really strong category. 15 riders have taken top 5 spots this month throughout March in Category 2, which means there's only a few riders who have taken a top 5 spot more than once. There's only 20 spots this month. Nothing compared to Category 3, because 18 riders took top 5 spots in Category 3 this month. Only Goodall and Godzari managed to do it twice. But Nair has had 2 of those spots. You know, Nair, I think he's had 2 5th places without looking at my notes. He has 2 5th places.
Well remembered. It's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, Lionel Justin will remember racing on here when we had, 3 categories and the men's and women's all same time, one race. It was just a real free for all in some ways, and yet in others it was relatively simple because we only had a few riders in the mix, and you could keep an eye. Now it's so hard. You've got so many riders coming along here. But Justin at the moment coming back into form. He's in this leading group with Van Els, with Jones, with Kaminsky and co. He's really looking good on this course, and this is a course that suits him.
Well, yeah, I agree. Now, let's just talk about numbers, shall we? Lionel Vujasin was in the mix when there were 55 riders on the Sunday Race Club. Yeah. Now, in January this year, there was an average of 266 men in the race field. In February, the average was 277. In March, the average has been 281. The maximum number of riders we've seen in any one week this month is 297 men. I think there is a big challenge to go out there because April has got to see us top 300.
Now, this means that you will have to break the first rule of Sunday Race Club. And that's don't talk about Sunday Race Club. It means you
need to go out and talk to everybody
Sunday Race
about
Club.
it.
Get out there, tell everybody about it, and make sure when you do, you get them on that start line because, this is great fun and everybody should have great fun.
Well, they should, and everybody should join us because it is an absolute blast. And Van Elst, Osborne, Jones, Wu, Tugles are all in that leading group in Category 1 having a blast. Jeff Rooney is on our screens having a blast as well. He's with Gonzalez and Maillard and Botero in that group of Category 5 riders. Jacques Russenek is there as well, the Canadian rider. Good to see him in the mix too.
Russenek was riding really strongly on the first climb, absolutely shot through there, looking super strong. Definitely a rider to watch out for. Jeff Rooney, of course, absolute legend, and the sort of rider that's going to inspire the team.
Yes, absolutely, definitely. And Jeff Rooney can inspire not just his team, but he inspires a lot of riders. First rider ever to Everest on MyWhoosh.
That's the stat we always use, but he's also, I think, the first rider to ride downhill and break the speed challenge on the way down as well.
Yeah, I know. You see, he is a man of many talents.
He is indeed. Good to see Jeff there looking strong as he rides through in this group of leaders in Category 5. They're currently at 28.6 kilometres here. So we've basically completed the first 2 categorised climb, plus the climb between Toon City and Alcatraz, which is not categorized. So we've done quite a lot of the climbing. We're heading across and we're going to be heading in towards Hawk Hills climb. I mean, that's super short. It's a 1K sprint, but not that long after you come into the finale of the Spring Road climb. And that is really, really going to test the riders.
Yeah, it is indeed. And it's what's going to break this race up, I think. Though I say that, the women have just finished here in California on the Spring Road climb. And let me just tell you, in Category 2, it was a handkerchief, not a blanket I could have thrown over them.
Really? So close?
0.8 of a second, I think, separated the top 9 riders.
That is nothing. Absolutely nothing.
If you want to know who those top 9 riders are, you need to watch the women's race when you finish watching the men's race.
So some riders head across on category 1 at the 17-kilometre marker. They're heading through area 51. They're going to drop down towards the Alcatraz sprint very, very shortly. It's not going to be far away. Area 52, not 51. Area 51. Do you know what? Counting has really been a bad day today.
Where is Area 51? I've never heard of that.
It's at the end of my coffee cup that's empty. It's the area where all my coffee disappears into. It's definitely there. As the riders make their way in through, they're going to be heading in towards Alcatraz. That comes at 18.7. That is where we're going to see that sprint kick in. It's not all that far away. Leonard Chugles, though, keeping them on their toes at the moment. Just out the saddle, puts a little bit of a kick in.
Can I just make a prediction?
Go on.
I have been predicting that Leonard Chugles is going to win the Sunday Race Club soon.
You know, if you make enough predictions, week in, week out,
you'll
eventually come right.
I actually think today could be the day.
You think that every day?
No, today for Leonard Chugles, I think he could be having the top spot.
What about Mikhail Kaminsky? He's
he
on
could
our screens.
Be dreaming of that Californian win. Mikhail Kaminsky, well, yes, but...
Oh, there's a but.
Well, only because, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Kaminsky, there's been a lot of riders doing a lot of racing this month, and Kaminsky is one of them. And whether the week and then just targeting the finale here in California can pay off for Kaminsky, it's going to be a really interesting one. He's not had a top 5 yet this month. That's not to say the Alpha Jaw rider isn't capable of top 5. He absolutely is. And Kaminsky is going for the sprint here, which is an interesting move. He's got the polka dot skin suit and the sprint skin suit, which would tell me he's not keeping his powder dry for that finale.
Well, the thing is, with this big climb coming at the end, and if you want to be in it to win it, you've got to really work hard. I was just slightly distracted there, sorry, by the fact that we're actually coming up on Fourier, who is the sprint winner in category, I think it's category 2, just coming up on here. We're just going past. Fourier goes through. And he's literally by the sprint winner of category 1. He's been caught. He's been dropped off the main group. He's concentrating on those sprints. You can see the Alcatraz sprint winners on your screen. Kaminsky goes through, not the fastest time. That does go to Fourier just in front of him. And then it was Skierski and then Farah. But a real mix of times actually out there. Great ride by Matt Hooker to take that sprint in category 6 at 10.247. In fact, the slowest time was Kaminsky's, not the fastest. In terms of winners.
Yeah, in terms of the fastest times in each of the categories, category 1 is actually the slowest.
And I think to some degree that does show you just how focused they are on the end of this race. Now, Leonard Chugles, Marshall Wu, Stefan Van Elst, Lionel Vajassin, Micah Kaminsky, Ollie Jones, Jason Osborne, all in that leading group at the moment. They're the riders who have the front of the race in category 1 in our elite race.
Well, let me just give you a teams update, because that is 3 riders from Alpha Jaw, 3 riders from Abus Synergy, and 1 rider from Boss Moves Only.
It's going to be very interesting how it plays out time-wise and who's going to take away top spot. It's far less easy to work out who's doing what, where, when, and how in category 2, whether you're riding, commentating, or watching, because there's always somebody on the move in category 2, and it's a big group as well. At the moment, at 21.9k, they're on that transition from the Alcatraz sprint across to Mount Umunhum. They have got the interior of Alcatraz to negotiate at the moment. You can just see they're weaving their way through Alcatraz Island. Alcatraz Island is not normally connected to the mainland by bridges in any way, shape, or form. It is a boat ride or a swim. There's some great history podcasts about Alcatraz.
Really?
Yeah.
And I bet you've listened to them, haven't you?
Lots of them.
How many people have swum or attempted to swim?
Attempted to swim quite a few. There has been 3 people that have been known to make it across.
Swimming?
Well, swimming or floating across with support, with aids.
And they've actually got to the other side.
Got to the other side. There are lots more people who've never made it and disappeared. but it was originally a military prison that got taken over by the state, and then it was at one point occupied by the indigenous nations, and then eventually it's turned into a museum.
Well, let me just say, Carl Cahan is not doing anything about turning his legs into a museum because there's no history there. Well, there is history there, I tell you.
There's some quick history.
I was going to say there's some very quick history. And the last few weeks, he's been putting in some phenomenal performances. He's had 3 fourth places, and that is no it's a very difficult challenge in category 2. I know I'm getting my, it all round the wrong way. You've confused me now. I'm thinking about swimming, not cycling.
Well, if you are into your swimming and your running and your riding, and you do 3 sports, and don't get confused, then maybe you need to be jumping on and having a look at the new triathlon route on MyWhoosh. It's got its own graphics. There's a run route and the ride route as well. Do make sure you jump on board then, have a little look at it. If you are a cyclist, well, it's always great to get new roads to ride on. I'm a sucker for a new road to explore. Super tripod of the portfolio of MyWhoosh, now one of the big steps up. And I know a lot of the riders and runners and competitors in the tri coming back in and across. Now, we're looking at our rider number 1 on the road. It's Ricky Kittle up at the front of the race. That's something that we got used to saying this month. He's clear at the front of the race at the moment. He's got 6 seconds to the nearest rider. He's currently at 34.2k, currently on the climb of the Hawk Hills. He has got a little way to go to the summit. It's 34.5k, the summit, so another couple hundred meters or so. He's the furthest rider down the road. Behind him, Kleps at 6 seconds back is currently just behind as well, but it's a big pack that are left chasing Kleps at the moment. In category 5, Mortec leading from Siddle. They're down the road a lot further along than our category 1 riders. Iceman Van Els, Stefan Van Els, right in this leading group of category 1 riders. They're at 22.6k at the moment, just weaving the way in and out through Alcatraz, which did have people living on there and a school as well.
Well, there we go. But Stefan Van Elst, he's another one of the strong riders in the mix here. Tugels, Osborne, Jones, Van Elst, Vuyasin Wu in the mix. It's going to be interesting to see what the gap back now is to Safra Zaidi. He's a little bit further back, and you can see on that top screen that the riding is showing the gap to the corner. There you go. The groups go around the corner behind, and there's one off the back. So it's going to be interesting to see what that gap is.
Well, interesting. Just taking a little look here. We've got Stefan Van Els, Kel Power, Kevin Motmans, and Tom Verham. What connects these riders together? We're going to leave that out for you to have a little think about. What connects all these 4 riders? Drop it in the chat. We'll give you a little bit of a clue because it's on your screens at the moment. You can visually see what connects these riders. You're going to tell
Can I have a look at the chat? Hold on.
3,
Has anybody done it?
2, 1. They all ride for Belgium, and it is classic season at the moment on the road scene. Also, there's some great mountain bike racing going on at the moment in Belgium, and I think it's not all that long until we see the BMX starting there as well. Great cycling nation.
Mountain Bike World Cup starts in Brazil next month. Araxa.
That's the XCO Mountain Bike World Cup.
Yeah, and XCC.
Yep.
The XCE.
Yep.
Starts in Eastern Europe. That's in a very different part of the world.
Is it Tajikistan, if I remember correctly, for the XCE, the Eliminator race? Much shorter, a bit like doing one of these climbs, but doing it compressed into about a 30-second sprint, and then do that about 4 times. Definitely a tough day out there, but lots of fun as well. You might hear some familiar voices on that as well, funnily enough. Okay, we're going to jump across to our Category 2 riders on the right at the moment because there are still, it's a huge pack. Now, Emma, we see this time and time again. Is it, if I was cynically looking at this, I would be saying that they are taking this just easy and saving themselves. But actually, I think it's so competitive that it's almost impossible to break clear. There's so many people of a similar level.
Oh, I agree, and it is indeed the latter. We see between 50 and 60 riders in Category 2, week in, week out. And actually, if you were to ask everybody what their FTP was, what their 1 minute power was, what their 5 minute power was, you would be pretty much hearing the same answer. And then that is what is happening. And then it's tactics, it's strategy, it's how it plays, it's teamwork, it's all of those things combined. And category 2, the racing is just superb.
Well, category 1 are not disappointing either. They are now out of the saddle, starting to climb. They are making their way on this long, draggy section at 24.7k. Now, we'll give you a quick reminder where that is, as here is our course profile. Now, Mount Umunhum is almost the central point of the course at 24.5k, but more importantly, it's the second of our categorized climbs. It's a step climb, so it's not about keeping one rhythm, it's about being able to respond to the changing gradients. But Mount Umunhum is dwarfed by the Spring Road climb. Now, Emma, the Hollywood climb, the first of our climbs, that's a 6-minute climb.
Yes.
6:06 done course record and today. The Hawk Hills climb, it's super short, it's super fast. It's not that kind of time at all. It's only 1k, it's a 1k sprint.
Mm-hmm.
The Spring Road climb is a big climb.
Yes.
By anybody's terms of reference. 6.8k in distance. You're going to climb 276 meters. And in fact, from there to the finish is what we would describe as technical. And you can see that on the course map because it's got that little dip and rise. Is the Spring Road climb, despite its length, actually the decider is the last few meters, because that's also almost the decider for the finish?
No, I'd argue the decider is around a third of the way up, because that's where the gradient is its steepest. Before the step, it gets to over 10% there, and that would be the natural attack point on the climb. I can tell you that the fastest time so far up the Spring Road climb is Jason Osborne, 12 minutes 9 seconds.
So that's basically double the first climb of the day. 6:06.
Yeah. So 12 minutes 9 seconds.
It's not far away. Double.
Only 7 men have gone sub 13 minutes.
Wow. It's good, isn't it?
But Osborne's time is significantly faster than anybody else's.
Is that going to be important? And what's to come? Is that a warning to all the rest of the riders? Leonard Chugles doesn't want to tow Osborne into that last time. You can just see big kick coming up here. And one of those reasons that is there's a big kick coming, and Kaminsky's trying to respond here as well, is because we are coming up to the banner. Underneath the banner they go. Very quick run up that climb. Now, Kaminsky goes through with the polka dot jersey on his back because he has the amassed points total, the best total so far. So as they come up the climb there up Mount Umunhum. So Kaminsky, just taking a look, actually took the fastest time as well. He was starting pretty much at the back because he really had to put his foot down towards the end. Interestingly, Kaminsky and co only 7 seconds faster than Category 2. Ika Morel taking the fastest segment in Category 2. Category 3 was Nicholas Becker. Category 4, Zach Petterson. Category 5, Kevin Horsley. And Category 6, Michael Kleps. The time range 2 minutes 49, right the way through to 3 minutes 39. And interestingly, unlike the sprint, this has gone to category. The fastest time with Category 1, the slowest time of our winners is Category. It would be expected, although sometimes you do see tactics playing out on the climbs. It's definitely less often.
And even then,
oh, you cynic you.
Well, it's not quite sprinting, is it? That's a little bit different.
It is, and the race effort that you put into a climb, particularly the last climb, is so instrumental in how the race is won.
Yeah, yes and no, because regularly we see the person in the polka dot skin suit not being the winner of the race.
Indeed, if they put too much effort into those early climbs, that can definitely be the case. Now, really interesting to see that Michael Kleps with the polka dot skin suit in Category 6 has been caught back by the group here. And that group has all come back together on the right-hand side of your screen. So Category 1 at the moment at 27.7k into the race route. With Category 2, the leaders at nearly 29 kilometres. Nearly at 39 kilometres are the Category 5 riders. And Category 6, well, they are literally just in front. The leaders at 38.6 in categories 5 and 6. In fact, it's 100 meters separating the leader of Category 6 from Category 5. So it looks to me like we're going to see Category 6 being caught by Category 5 at the 39-kilometer marker. John Back at the moment is the solo leader in Category 6. He's the rider who's up the road at the moment, just going up past the MyWhoosh banner. This big chasing group of riders with Sensing, DeManuel and Kittle, Milano, Klepsa, Rago. Well, they have got company coming up behind them. It's the Category 5 leaders, and they are going to come past. You can see them on the left of your screen. Category 5 leaders closing down on Category 6. This is where you will see riders kick and try and go with the faster category. Who's got the pace? Who's got the power to go with Category 5? Who can take advantage of the aerodynamic drag available? They're still motoring here at 25 to 30 kilometers an hour. There is draft available. You can see the Category 6 riders trying to respond here. It's going to drag them up towards John Back as Horsley puts in a massive dig here. He wants to push his way up to the wheels of John Back here. He gets onto the wheel. Now, can any of the Category 6 make the most of this? Back definitely has here. He's still holding this group. Horsley now right into the lead, and you can see the purple jerseys of the Category 6 riders slowly dropping back through the Category 5 group. The lead has changed. Our Category 6 riders who set off first now being passed by the Category 5 riders who started 5 minutes behind.
Well, there we go. There we have it. And I tell you someone who is doing a great ride, Matt.
Go on.
Dylan Kennett. So Kennett, part and parcel of this leading group, was in Category 6. He's only recently come through to Category 5, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Put in a strong performance in the sprint competition a couple of weeks ago. Now part and parcel of this leading group. Well, with 5.5 kilometres to go. I said he's going to progress quickly.
You did, but you did have some insider knowledge as to his background as well, it has to be said. I'm going to say this now. A massive, massive thank you to everybody who sends us messages to Emma and to myself. Lots of the riders do. You can get in touch with Emma. It's at biking_Emma on Instagram. You can get a hold of me on Instagram. It's at MattFixerPain. Please do get in touch, particularly if you're one of our riders, because we love to find out what you're up to, what your history is, what you've been doing, whether you've been racing, whether you've never raced, whether you crochet, commentary team, or whatever you do in this world. We really love what you do outside of riding as well. Absolutely love to hear from riders. Everybody's got in touch so far. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I love hearing about people's pets. You never know, we might slip them into commentary one day.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying anything about Fat Ron, who now becomes Thin Ron.
You've managed to get a cat reference in already.
I know. Well, I'll tell you something. Our categories on our screen are motoring, and they're all now coming into the final 15 kilometres to go. The riders that we are in with: Kaminsky in Category 1, Agudelo in Category 4, Morgan is there in Category 4 as well. I'm taking a look at that. That's a bit of a push going on there. And I was wondering whether Luke Allport might pay close attention today.
He has been on the front. He was on the attack early on. He all-ported his way up to, I think it was Nicholas Spratt, who's on the attack. Really one of the riders who he was unbeaten on this course, wasn't he?
He was unbeaten
on this course. It's not just me remembering wrong.
No.
He was unbeaten on this course for a long, long time. I don't know if he still is. I'm sure Luke will tell us.
Depends what happens today.
Now,
I actually think he is unbeaten on this course.
We will, Luke, just let us know afterwards, mate. Don't do it now. We're not whilst you're racing. Category 5 leading in the blue, the furthest riders down the course. Category 1, the last riders out of the pens chasing. Category 2, Maciej Mendakowicz on the move here as they make their way over. Yep, the Golden Gate Bridge. They're heading over the long bridge section here, going across from one side of the bay to the other. And at the moment, he's really just stretching his legs out. Can he make this count? Because 37 seconds is the gap back to the chasing group. So, Maciej Mendakowicz one of the riders who goes well on punchy courses has a gap. Has he got enough? Has he got it in the tank to keep him clear? Well, we will have to wait and find out. Category 6 and 5, meanwhile, are well into this course. They're approaching the 40-kilometre mark. In fact, Category 5 in the light blue, just over the 40-kilometre mark at 40.5. As Category 1 leaders, well, they're about to make their way onto the bridge here. They're just going to go underneath the green archway here. But at the moment, as they make their way in and through, you can see Mikko Kaminsky taking the green skin suit there, sprints his way through. I'm not sure he'll hold that, because I think some of the riders who have been distanced from this lead group, Ruben Don, may well have something to say about that. If they were distanced 31 seconds back to Dont at the moment, so he's not in that leading group, and I suspect he will want to contest that and try and take that back. Maybe the same with Hayden Pucker as well. I think Emma's just busy counting up victories for Luke Allport to see whether or not he has been beaten on this course ever. Meanwhile, as the category...
So far, I have 3 wins in California across Category 4 and Category 3 for Luke Allport.
That didn't answer the question. That was a politician's answer.
I don't think we haven't been in California this year. And I'm just taking a little look, and I cannot find a Californian Sunday race club that Luke Allport has not won his category.
There you go. Not only able to give us the stats, but to back it up with real numbers as well. Lesson some people should learn in life, I guess. Michael Plantero taking away the win in the sprint at the moment. The fastest rider in through Category 1, San Francisco sprint there. We'll see if that holds, because that's not a fast time, 15.88 seconds. That's clearly not the emphasis. The Category 1 race. Meanwhile, you can see the fastest time at the moment is Francis Pino of the Salt Factory team from the UAE. The Category 4 rider going through there in 13.113 seconds, super fast. Each of our segment, fastest through the segment in each of our categories at the end of the race. They take away the prizes.
Yeah, Plantero in the group with Dont, Pucker, Kroll. Safra Zaidi, I think, is in there as well. This is a big chasing group.
It is, and it's we don't see very much of that chase group, but I don't think there's enough to come together and chase. They were distanced and dropped for a reason.
Yeah,
here.
But I tell you something, what's going to be important in that group is second and third counters in teams.
Yes.
Well, the leading group in Category 1 are on the left-hand side of your screen. The leading group on the road are on the right-hand side of your screen. And that leading group on the road contains the Category 5 race and the Category 6 race, because there is indeed a purple jersey amongst the blue, telling me that the leader on the Category 6 race is on the coattails of that group of Category 5 races.
So Valada leading the Category 5 group up here. Just waiting to catch a glimpse of who our Category 6 rider is. I suspect it is John Back. He was the rider poised in the right place to take advantage of that, and it looked like he had responded initially. We're going to have to check and see. I think it is going to be, it's not, it's Ricky Kittle. The Back Kittle battle continues. Ricky Kittle has made the most of this. Look at this, he's coming up to the front. Thank you, Ricky. Getting himself into camera shot just at the right time for us. Ricky Kittle not only able to ride and race clear at the front of that group, but also able to ride his position on command for camera. Thank you very much. So you can
multi-talented.
Yeah, take up a stuntman as a cyclist on TV films, because you get the shot there every time. Now, let's go across Category 4.
Yeah, about 400 metres behind this group of Category 5 and Category 6 are the leaders in Category 4. It's looking like there's a 2-up battle going on there at the moment. But Kennett, Horsley, Mukhtari, Rusmaki, Mortek, Villada, all in that battle in that Category 5 race. Christopher Morgan in the battle in the Category 4 race. Big group at the front of the Category 2 race. And it's looking like Jason Osborne might be making a move in Category 1.
Well, the riders at the moment at 35 kilometres, just gone over the top of the Hawk Hills climb, I suspect, as they've made their way in and through the Hawk Hills climbing. So it's only a K long. It's a really, really tough little climb. But is it enough to do the damage today? It looks like it is for Osborne. He has got, wait for this, 13 seconds.
I'm sorry, but that
between
man is a
Osborne
machine.
from Tugels and Van Elst.
So Jason Osborne yesterday, for those of you who didn't know, headed out and raced a gravel race. So he raced gravel yesterday. Unfortunately, he had a DNF at the gravel hills in Italy.
It did not finish.
Yes, it did not finish. But let's just put it this way. He's an ex-World Tour rider. He knows how to ride stage races day after day after day, hard work after hard work after hard work. And it looks as though a little bit of unfortunate mechanicals at a gravel event, and a huge gravel event. It's not just a little let's have a poodle. It's a world level gravel event. Has not slowed him down on Sunday Race Club.
It's not. So maybe 2 days of racing is exactly what he was after, and with nothing yesterday, esports wise, out and racing on the gravel instead. One man who clearly is not slowed by pretty much anything, Maciej Mendakowicz. He had got a gap. He's still holding the gap. Koskierski, along with Rios, Betty, Dan Graves and co. The big chasing pack in Category 2 have not yet pulled back. Maciej Mendakowicz, the solo leader in Category 2. That big pack, though, surely they're going to get him back there. They're chasing. The gap is about 30 seconds at the moment. If they don't catch him back before the final climb, is 30 seconds enough, Emma?
For whom?
Maciej Mendakowicz, who's cleared by 30 seconds. Oh, come on. I can hear the cogs whirring.
Yes.
Yes. Oh.
I had to think. I'm looking at the names in the group, and I'm thinking, do you know what? There could be one or two who could really launch an attack, but 30 seconds of Mendakowicz. Mendakowicz is strong.
He is, and he's holding off this
strong.
group. I think the group have just spent too much time looking at each other. We will see how that plays out as Category 2 in the 37-kilometre marker. This is the hill that precedes the Spring Road climb. This little bump in the road, which is a 7% bump, basically is just there to wake the legs up before the riders hit the main climb, where you can see at the moment Kevin Horsley is leading the entire race field up on to the climb. Horsley leading from Cirillo at the moment. It's just a slight gap. It's 1 second showing on the screens. Behind him, Cirillo, Mukhtari, Rusmaki. It looks to me like Mortek in the mix. Viladis is there, Vaham. This group that are chasing at the moment, it could come from any one of these riders, because we are running out of road for anybody to make this count. Horsley is trying to get that gap. He is aware of this finish, I'm sure. I'm sure I've seen Kevin Horsley race into this finish well previously in the racing. Now, the race finish here, really important thing to know as the riders come into the finish. This is a twin-peaked summit. The first peak is immediately as we come through the climb, and then there's a dip and a slight rise on the way in, but it's almost impossible to change position, but unless you catch somebody napping. Now, Jason Osborne
has caught the whole group of Category 2 riders napping.
He is about to come up onto their wheels. He went over the Hawk Hills climb solo. He has rocketed his way. He's got 30 seconds gap, so we'll see if it's 30 seconds is enough on the climb, because we are now at 38.2k. We are into the climb proper, and at the moment, Jason Osborne, I'm sorry, but he's making everybody else look quite pedestrian.
They didn't even blink. You would have thought one or two of them might have tried to jump on the wheel.
Well, Kayan is doing it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kayan. But I have to say, you've been putting in some phenomenal performances this month. But Kayan, Zach Nair, Phil Graves, yes, yes, yes. Jump on the World Championships wheel, get a tote up to Maciej Mendakowicz, and take a turn.
Yeah, and Jason Osborne there with the emote, just throwing down that take a turn. Let's work here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. He wants the maximum gap between him and the riders behind the riders that he has got with him are looking to try and pull back Mendakowicz. Mendakowicz will be hoping that Osborne can drop these riders and they lose the impetus. They lose the chase behind him. He's lost 10 of his 30 seconds. Kevin Horsley, his gap is down to 2 seconds at the moment. He's at 44.4 4 kilometers, and this is the key section. This is where you've really got to push on. You go over the first peak, he's into the descent, he's into the drop, 6% drop, and then it flicks across as you come into the canyon. The gradient kicks up again, and if you get your timing right here, you can win the race. Get the timing wrong, you're going to lose a whole bunch of places. Horsley leading, Anderson at the moment leading the chase from Rusmaki Gaviria along with Cirillo, but they are changing places for fun behind. Into the next section of the downhill, Horsley's out the saddle. He's got 4.7 watts per kilo to his name at the moment. He's coming around this left-hand turn. Surely he's going to do it. The banner is just round this left-hand turn. Here comes the banner, the UCI banner for MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club. Kevin Horsley takes the win in Category 5 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club final. Your race winner, Kevin Horsley, holds the bunch off behind him.
Well, I tell you, Anderson took the sprint behind from Cirillo and Mortek, and this is Ricky Kittle, Category 6, taking the win.
Great ride by Ricky Kittle. He took his opportunity when it was there. He made the move to go clear. He followed that to Category 5 group coming through. He was the only one able to hold the wheels. He stayed in with them and made his way through. It's going to be a great ride by him to take that win in Category 6. We're in with Christopher Morgan at the moment. He's the Category 4 rider. He's clear. Spratt and Patterson are now behind him, and Morgan should have a relatively straight run into the finish. The riders that are around him are all in different categories. The nearest rider is Spratt. It's 8 seconds. This surely is going to be Christopher Morgan's. He's been active all month in our qualifiers. It's the monthly finals, and Christopher Morgan sprints under the banner to win in Category 4.
Well, Nicholas Spratt is going to come through for second place today. Zach Patterson in that Category 4 race is battling it out at the moment for third. But if we drop back in to Category 3, they're coming up to 1K to go.
So Camille Davis, the leader of what is a big group of riders on the road at the moment. They're on the way around this turn. You still got Kowalski, who's about to come up onto his heels, but there are a big, long line of riders behind. Sladek, Becker, and Co. trying to come around here. Kowalski's got over the top of Danes. Sladek's in there. Becker's in there. It looks like Paredes is in there as well. It's Becker with the polka dot skin suit. He's shown he can climb. We're coming up to the polka dot banner. This is for climb points overall, and I'm sure that we're going to see a push from Becker. Here he goes. He tries to sprint for the line, but they're all giving it big beats on the way through. And can he now continue to push? Are we going to see somebody resting, or are we going to see this come down to a bunch sprint in Category 3?
There are 14 riders in this leading group in Category 3 at the moment, just gone underneath the polka dot banner on the sprint road climb. 700 metres from that climb to the finish line, and this is going to be absolutely crucial for the top 5 positions overall. Santiago Velez takes up the mantle at the moment, and we've seen before, attacking the downhills rather than the uphills is the key to this section. You've got to get momentum going. You've got to get your pace high, because that pace will carry.
So Sladek at the moment on the right-hand side of your screen is going to lead this out round the turn here. He's got Gadazi behind him with the white helmet. Can Gadazi come up on the wheels of Sladek? They're going to get rolled here, though, as they come into the line. Santiago Velez goes over the top. Velez times it to perfection. Santiago Velez takes the win as he goes through, rewarded with that yellow skin suit.
Well, Lewis Ridley takes second, Karol Sladek takes third, Godzari takes fourth, and Paredes takes fifth.
Fantastic racing in all of our categories as always. On the Sunday Race Club, it's almost clear cut in Category 1 after that Category 3 sprint fest in for the line. There's Jason Osborne leads up here now behind. His move has really changed things around in Category 2, because with him for company are Phil Graves, Kel Power, Simon Walter, Carl Suspin and Stuart Miller. The one man who we are hunting for is Maciej Mendakowicz, who was clear on the front of this
He
group.
was.
Now, is he still up in front of Osborne and co? The pace that Osborne is travelling, I don't think he's going to be. I think surely he's been swept away. I'm still checking out the satellite, the radar view.
I think he's been caught.
Surely Mendakowicz has been pulled back. We're hunting through our screens behind Osborne. Marshall Wu has got a slight gap to Kaminsky at the moment. Interesting. Wu, Kaminsky, Van Elst, then Tugels. They are pretty much together
and look
at
what's
the
happening.
moment.
Look where they are about to come onto the back of. They're about to come onto the back of the chase group in that Category 2 race.
So they're heading in towards the wheels of Frederick Gombe as they come up to the 41.5 kilometre marker at the moment. Right-hand side of your screen, the World Champs jersey, Jason Osborne, who broke clear of the Category 2 chasers and the Category 1 lead group. He rocketed his way up through and past all of them. He left them behind. The battle it's for second place down in the Category 1 race. Category 2 race all over the road. It's been smashed apart by the express train of Osborne rattling in and through the group there.
Do you know,
this is going to be frantic.
31 riders were in that group when Osborne hit it. It is now smithereens. 3 of them went with him. This is the second chase group on the road. The main chase group, look at that, there's a little bit of a gap. This is going to bring this back together again now, because these Category 1 riders will naturally tow some of these Category 2 riders together, and the front group will not be happy because any riders make it over from this back group, they are not going to like it.
They're not, but you do get dropped for a reason. This is still one big climb. It doesn't have too many dips, all safe for the end of the race here. Now, Kel Power looking to stay with Osborne. It is a group of 3, Power, Grace and Walter. They are still ahead of Wu. Interestingly, Wu is only at 16, if not 17 seconds behind Osborne. Osborne had got that gap up to 30 seconds at one point. So the chasing group have done some good work in pulling him back, but I don't think it will have been enough as Osborne makes his way on here. He is the course record holder on this climb, taking the course record. His course record on here was 12 minutes 9 seconds
and
on
tell
this
you what,
climb.
It was indeed 12 minutes 9 seconds. Vink sets the second fastest time, 12 minutes 31. Ollie Jones in third, 12 minutes 35. So that's nearly 30 seconds back, Jones from Osborne on this climb.
And we now get to see Mendakowicz, Maciej Mendakowicz, who had gone on that attack. I tell you something, I bet he wishes he was on the beach at the moment rather than on the final slopes of this climb. But in terms of brave moves, great move by him to kick and go clear. You can see he's on here trying to keep cool as he's out of the saddle, continues to kick down. Maciej Mendakowicz in this group. And do you know what? This is some ride because he really went on the aggressor. He was attacking. He rode hard. He took the race to the others. He's going to be rewarded with a good position here. Whether it's the position he wants is another matter. But this is still a class group of riders in Category 2. It's not the leaders, but the class group of chasers on the left of your screen.
Well, I'll tell you who is a class chaser. Stefan Van Elst. The gap now between Osborne and Van Elst, 13 seconds.
Yes, and he's riding for the ABA Synergy squad, and this is going to be good for the Synergy squad. Got to remember, Jason Osborne is on the same squad as Knudsen, Fink, and Safa Zaidi, and the Boss Moose squad have been pretty much annihilated by today's course. They've not been where we've expected them to be. Now, there may be that they've had technical issues. It may be that they just didn't have the legs today to stay with the front of the race. But Van Elst's move here, you've got Wu for company. Wu has put in a fantastic ride here once again. And remember, Wu here, he's also running for ABA Synergy. So they've got Van Elst, they've got Wu together here.
And Tugels.
Chasing, and Leonard Tugels is right behind. Surely this is ABA Synergy's day at the office to take away the team win.
Well, and I'll tell you something. It has been Alpha Jaw and Boss Moves only. Those two squads have absolutely dominated Category 1's men racing for a significant period of time. ABA Synergy coming in, they are going to rattle this up, and extra competition in Category 1's men's racing. You can't fault it.
You definitely can't. Now, just going to give you a quick roundup of some of our team results in the competition. In the category 3, it's BMC3 who take the team win from What's Up Next and take that. The Outer Air Alliance, followed by Gold Grabbers, and take this team's immediately behind. Category 4, On the Rivet Racing, taking the win from Level Racing 1, then BMC Racing, Peak Power Racing, and the Anzacs. In Category 5, the MPCC team taking the win from Level Avengers, from Upcycled, and the Level Ride Club Finland. In Category 6, BMC 6, good day for BMC. BMC 6 taking the team win from Spinergy, from the Lost Amigos. All the results on MyWhoosh.com under results. Don't forget to jump on there and to MyWhooshInfo.com as well for all of those race results, the splits, the times, the segments on the way through. There's going to be no doubting our individual winner on our finals in Category 1. He should be the fastest rider, bar none, on the race here today. Then that is Jason Osborne, who at the moment is at 44 kilometres covered. He has got one more kilometre, 1,000 metres to go, and he's ticking them off pretty quickly already. Behind him, Van Elst and Wu with Tugels are riding the way up here. What we think should be a pretty clear-cut team win. So Category 2 are all over the road. Cal Power still holding in with this group. Really interesting to see Power in there, and I think Graves is in there, and Ritter as well. 3 riders in the mix. We're in with Cal Power accelerating his way up towards this polka dot banner here. He's looking to take away maximum points in the King of the Mountains competition. Will he continue that power through? He is. Now, he's not eased back. He's still at 8 watts per kilo here as he goes over the top. He's going to drive into the descent here. And is this what gives Cal Power on the left of your screens the prize in the overall by opening a gap that they can't pull back?
Well, I'll tell you something. Van Elst, Tugels and Wu have just gone through the Spring Road climb banner faster than Osborne.
So the sprint and the climb segments, of course, counting in towards those competitions. We're running in towards the finish line at the moment. The first of our leaders that we have still to come to the finish is going to be Jason Osborne. Osborne comes under the finishing line. The winner in Category 1, the world champion, takes the win in the finals. Behind him, here comes the run for the line. A fantastic ride by Cal Power in Category 2 to take the win, as the podium riders come in through in Category 1 as well. I think it's going to be Ritter and Graves in Category 2 immediately behind him.
Yeah, so Leonard Tugels comes through for second place in Category 1. Stefan Van Elst comes through for third. Marshall Wu takes fourth. That seals the Abus Synergy win. The Yasin comes through in fifth place for Alpha Jaw. Kaminsky in sixth. Teammates packing because Ollie Jones takes seventh, which gives second place in that team's competition to the Alpha Jaw squad.
In Category 2, it was it was Kel Power taking the win from Maurice Ritter, who was second, then Phil Graves in third, Simon Walter in fourth, James Krasnich in fifth. The team's competition, well, in Category 1, it has come down to that run for the line by Abus Synergy, taking the win from Albert Joe, with Abus Esports taking the win in Category 2 as well. So the Abus squad's doing well. Abus Esports from Hitman and the Smarties in Category 2.
22 seconds separating Abus Synergy and the Alpha Jaw squad in that team competition. I thought the women's team competition was close, but that is slightly closer.
Oh, well, no spoilers on isgov.com. The results continue to update as Panitza Jones, Nuts and Safasedi all come in here. The Boss Moose will start to put their riders in there. They'll have to stay clear of the Wenger boys. Wow, what a final. Don't forget, you can watch the rest of the women's if you haven't watched it yet, or if you broke off partway through to come to join me, Matt Payne, on the men's race. Don't forget that you can catch up with all of the coverage on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. Please do subscribe to that. Make sure that you give MyWhoosh a follow. It's at MyWhoosh on Instagram and on Facebook. You can follow me at Matt Fixer Payne, and you can follow Emma at Biking_Emma. It's been an absolutely fantastic March. 4 qualifiers and a final. We'd love you to jump on board and join us. We'd love you to be racing for us to put words to the action of you out and racing on MyWhoosh.
Come and join us in April.
Come and join us in April. You can join Emma for coaching. That's going to be kicking off on Monday.
Ooh,
All of the dates and times on MyWhoosh info and on MyWhoosh. Don't forget that there's lots of great race action with all of our riders. Do give our riders a follow. A massive thank you to you for watching. A massive thank you to the riders who have raced. This wraps my 3rd year of commentary on MyWhoosh. Absolutely been an absolute blast. And I'm going to say a big, big thank you to the production team behind the scenes. They work their socks off. They are absolutely world class. I've had the pleasure of working on world championships and across multiple disciplines. And I have to say they are some of the very best in the business. So thank you to the team behind the scenes, because without them, we wouldn't have pictures to put words to. It's time for us to enjoy a little bit of a break before we start our prep for next week. From Emma Martin, from myself, Matt Payne. Stay safe. We'll see you again soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.